Welcome to this video where we're going to continue looking at section 2 of the keyboard course. So in the previous video we looked at how to read the different notes on the music staff or music stave, and we looked at how to identify each of the different notes on the different lines, the different spaces. And so this video, now we're going to review the line notes, the space notes, and how to also do the steps and skips. So a step is where you go from one note to the one directly above it or directly below it. A skip is where you skip a note and you go to 2 notes up or 2 notes down. Okay, so we're going to do a few exercises to review that, and then we have some hymns that we can be playing, actually now reading the music directly on the page, on the music staff, the music stave. Okay, so first we have a few exercises to do. So it asks us here on the staff below, label each note with its alphabet name and then draw the line to its corresponding key and label each key with its name. Okay, so let's do that together. But before I do it with you, please pause the video and attempt to do this on your own so that you can actually be practicing this and making sure you're learning how to identify all these notes on your own. So pause the video, try it for yourself, and then I'll go through it with you. Okay, now that you've done it on your own, let me go through it with you so we can make sure we're on the same page. So we're going to start with just identifying what is the name of each note. So it starts here in the bass clef. So remember, for the lines, the rhyme that I use is Gum Boots Dancing for Africa. So G, B, D, F, A. And for the spaces, it's All Cows Eat Grass. So A, C, E, G. So let's use that to try and help us identify what the different notes are. So the first one they've given us is a C, so all cows. So it's the second space. Let's maybe do, let's go from just left to right so that you're alternating between the lines and the spaces, and you have to think about it each time. So the next one is the first line. So that is Gum Boots Dancing. So that is a G for Gum Boots Dancing. Then we go to our spaces. So all cows eat. So that's an E for eat. All cows. So that's an A. And then we go back to our space line. So Gum Boots Dancing for Africa. That was a D for dancing. Gum Boots Dancing for Africa. So that's an F. Okay, now this one is above the top line. So it's going to be one step up from whatever that top line is. So if we check the rhyme for the lines, so Gum Boots Dancing for Africa. So the top line would be an A, and this is one note up. So we're A, B. So that's a B. And then remember, whether you're in the bass clef or the treble clef, this note where we have a single line, and this is called a ledger line, that will be a middle C that we're going to be having. And if it was being written in the treble clef, we would have had a line just below it, the stave, the staff, and we would have had that written on that line. So this is exactly the same note, middle C, but if it's written for the bass clef, it's just above the bass clef. If it's written for the treble clef, it's just below the treble clef. Okay, then we can carry on. So this is the spaces again. So all cows eat grass. So that's a G. And then that's a, the lines is Gum Boots Dancing for Africa. So that's an A. Gum Boots. So that's a B. Okay, now we're going to switch over. You can see this one, they've got something written in both the treble clef and the bass clef, and there's a little asterisk over here. So if we're going to read that, that says this is an asterisk. The note with an asterisk is called a ledger line note. So the short line represents the middle C line. So like we had over here, this is middle C, and if we were drawing it for the treble clef, it would be just below. This is the space note just above middle C. So there's middle C. If we were to go one note up over there, that's what we've got over here. So we've got the first ledger line, which is middle C, and then this is the note right above it. So what comes right above middle C? It would be A, B, C. This is a D. And you can see written in the treble clef, this is written just below that bottom line and between middle C and that bottom line. And the rhyme for the lines in the treble clef is 11 giraffes bend down forward. So that would be an E if it was on the first line. This is just below that, just the notes just before it. So that's a D. So this D and that D are exactly the same note on the piano, but it's if it's written in the treble clef or in the bass clef. So in the same way that we have middle C can be written in either way, a D can be written, and an E you could write it with. Then if we're going to do an E, we would have 2 lines, and it would be on the second line over there, and that would be the same as writing an E like that. So sometimes if you're writing it like this, it's because you want the left hand to be playing it, and it's linked to the other notes that the left hand is playing in the bass clef. So then we just draw it like that. But if it was the right hand that was going to be playing it, then we'd write it in the treble clef like that. So that's why we use these ledger lines, just to make the annotation easier. So at this point you might think that makes it more complicated, but it actually does simplify it when you're playing and reading the music as you're going. Okay, so that's a D. Then the next one that they've given us is, so the rhyme for the lines is 11 drafts bend down forward, so 11 giraffes. That's a G. And this was 11 giraffes bend down forward, so that's an E. 11 drafts bend. They've given us the first 3 in a row, so that's a B. Okay, then the spaces for the treble clef, this spells the word face. So you have F-A-C-E. So F would be the first space. Then this is back to the lines. So 11 drafts bend down forward. So that is an F. So here's an F and here's an F. So this is 1 octave apart. If you count that up, you'll see there are 7 notes from there to there, and that's the 8th note. So from one F to the next F, it's 8 notes. From one G to the next G, it's 8 notes. That's what we call an octave. So octave meaning 8. Okay, then we get to another space note. So F-A-C-E, so that's an A. F-A-C-E, so that's an E over there. And then we go back to our line notes. So 11 drafts bend down forward, so that's a D. And then F-A-C-E, so that's a C over there. Okay, so now we've identified all of the different notes. We've said what they are. Now we need to try and say, where is this note on the piano, and draw a line to it. And because these notes are going up and down, we are going to end up crisscrossing on this page, but that's fine. Okay, so let's go back to the bass clef. So we have a C, and this is the C 1 octave down from middle C. So here is middle C over here, and this is 1 octave down. So there's a C, your group of 2 black notes, and it's just to the left of it. This is 1 octave down, 2 black notes just to the left of it. So there's the C. Okay, then we go to a G, and this is lower down than that C. So it's going to have to be, remember a G, if we go use this, it's a set of 3 black notes. It's between the bottom 2, that's a G. So there's 3 black notes, there's a G. This one though is this very bottom G over here. Okay, so that's that G. This is below the C that we had over there. Now we're going up to an E. This is above that C. So there's C, D, E, and it's just above the 2 black notes. So that's going to be that E over there. And then we go to an A, and this is again lower down on the music stave. So we're going to be going to the left on the keyboard. So if you're trying to just figure out, am I going left or right, is it higher or lower, that can help you to figure that out. So an A in a group of 3 black notes, it's going to be between the top 2 black notes. So there would be an A over there, there would be an A over there, and this A is this A down here. Okay, so that A over there. Then we have a D. So a D is between the 2 black notes. So we have a C just to the left of it, then you have a D, and then you have an E to the right of it. This D is halfway down the bass clef, so it's going to be this D over there. Then we have F, so it's 2 notes up. It's a skip up. So you can also just say, well, there's a D, so this is going to be an F over there. It's going to be 2 notes up, but also 3 black notes. It's just to the left of it. Then we come up to a B. Okay, so a B, and this is the B just below middle C. So where have you got middle C? This is the note just below it, and it's to the right of 3 black notes. So that's going to be that B over there. And then we have middle C. And we've actually got that one marked, so that's nice and easy for us. Then we go back down to a G. So this, you can count it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 notes down. So you could count 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can say a G. Okay, so that was a G there. It's the second between the bottom two in the group of 3 black notes. So that was there. It can be this one. It can be this one. It can be this one. It's just 7, 8 notes up from the other G. So it's this G that we have over there. Okay, then we have an A, just 1 note above that. It's a step up, so it'll be the next note to the right. And then we come all the way down to a B. Okay, so this is a B over here. So there we had a B. This is a B that's an octave down. So from this B, which is right to the right of the 3 black notes, we're going to come down to this B. So we're going to have a big line going all the way across like that. Okay, and then we have this line, this note, which is a D, and it's the same note whether it's in the treble clef or in the bass clef. And this is the note just to the right of the middle C. So just 1 note up. So there's middle C, there's the D that we're representing. So it's either just below the treble clef or it's above the first ledger line, above middle C if you're writing it in the bass clef. Okay, now we're getting to the higher notes, those in the top half. So we have a G that's going to be written. So this is going up from middle C. It's going to be a few notes up from middle C. So a G, remember it's this between the bottom 2 of the group of 3. There's another G. This is going to be this G over here, like that. And then we do a skip down to an E. So 2 notes down. It's going to be the E over there. And then we go up from that G, we can go a skip up to the G. So there was the G, we're going to come 2 notes up to the B. Okay, and then an F, this is 4 notes down. Or you can be saying, well, an F is just to the left of the 3 notes of black keys. Oh, wow, I'm getting myself tied up in knots. So it's just to the left of the group of 3 black keys. So there's our F. It's going to be that F. And then this F is now a full octave up. So where we had this F, now we're going to come up to this group of 3 black notes. It's going to be this F up here. And then we come down to an A. So an A is between the top 2 black notes. There's our A. And then we go, this E is 1 note below that F. So there's that F. It's going to be this E over here. And then we go another note down. So E and then D. So there's a step down, and then 1 more step down to the C. Okay, so there we go. So we've got lines going all over the page, but hopefully that helped you to be able to identify where is a note on the page compared to where is it on the keyboard. So the more you practice this kind of thing, the more it'll help you to be familiar. Using the flashcards will help you as well, so that you can make sure that you're reading these quickly as you're just reading the music. And what they suggest here in terms of using the flashcards is that you take out 4 of the random cards, practice 4 at a time, and then until you got that comfortable, and try different things. You practice reading the notes, and then you read the back where you see where is it on the keyboard, and you think about where would it be on the stave, on the staff. You have someone showing you random cards. Then you, from a group of 4, maybe you go to a group of 6 or 7 and then up to 10. So you're increasing the number that you're practicing with all the time. So that's how you can get proficient in reading the notes. Remember, there are also apps that you can use that will test you on the music. And then you can also be using that to check if you got it right. There's some gamification that happens as well if you enjoy that. So there's lots of resources to help you to be reading the music nicely. Then on the next page, it's got a number of exercises for you to do. So the first thing it says is play the notes below while saying their names, and then if someone points the notes randomly while you play and say the names. So I'll play them with you, and then you want to get somebody who will test you with this. So we start over here. So we're going to start this in the treble clef. So we're going to use the right hand. First note is below the first space. So the first space would be F, F-A-C-E, but this is below that first space. So it's going to be a D. Okay, so we start with playing a D, and then we have an F, and then we have an A, and then we have a C, and then an E on the keyboard. Okay, so F, A, C, E is those spaces, and then the D is below the first line. And the first line, remember our rhyme is 11, E, G, giraffes, bend, B, down, D, forward, F. So just below that E is then going to be a D, and that's what that is. Okay, so E, G, B, D, F are our notes there. And then if we switch to the left hand, the bass clef, so we have the spaces for the bass clef. So the rhyme is all cows eat grass, and then we have one that's above the space. So all, A, cows, C, eat, E, grass, G, and then just above the top line, which is G, A, B. So there's a B that we have just above the top line. And then the rhyme for the lines in the bass clef is gum, G, boots, B, dancing, D, for, F, Africa, A. Okay, so those are all of the notes as they are on the stave. So the next exercise then is what says, without looking at your hands, use the raised black keys to find and play the white keys for each of the notes on the staff below. Say the name of each key as you play it. So I want you to, again, pause the video and do this on your own, and then come and do it with me, and we'll see if you got it right. Okay, so now that you've done that on your own, let's look at this first one. So here we have gum, boots, dancing for Africa. That's a G, and a G is between the three black notes. It's between the bottom two, but it's going to be this bottom G that we have all the way down over here. So that's that G. Then we come up to the treble clef, and this is 11 drafts bend down forward. So that's a D. And so D is between the two black notes. It's the middle one, but this one is an octave up. It's this D over here. That's the D that we have. And then we have an F, 11 draft bend down forward. And this is the top F. So we had a D, this is two notes up. You've got to skip up to an F. And also, you've got a group of three black notes. It's just to the left of the three black notes. That's going to be an F. Yeah, then we have middle C. Hopefully you're very comfortable reading middle C now. So middle C to the left of the two black notes, there's our middle C. So hopefully that's comfortable for you now. Then we come down to the bass clef. So gum, boots, dancing for Africa. That's a D. And a D is between your two black notes. It's the middle note between the two black notes. But this is in the bass clef, and it's right in the middle of the bass clef. So it's this D over here that we have for that D. Then we have, this is in the treble clef, and it's the note. You see there's middle C. If it was on that line, it would be middle C. Now it's the note just below that. So what is just below middle C? It's B. Okay, so it's written below the ledger line because this is supposed to be played with the right hand. So that is a B that we have over there, just below middle C. Then we come to our rhyme for our spaces in the treble clef is just face, F-A-C-E, so that's F-A. So an A is between the three black notes, it's between the top two ones. So there's an A, and this A is right in the middle of the treble clef, so it is this A that we're going to be playing. And then we come down to the bass clef, and the rhyme for the spaces is all cows eat grass, so that's A. So again, just like we had the A over here between the two black notes, the top two black notes, there's another A, and here's another A over here. And it's this bottom A down at the bottom of the bass clef, which is going to be played there. And we have all cows eat grass. That's a G. And if an A is there, the note just below that would be a G. So between the bottom two notes of the group of three, but it's not the G just below that. This is an octave up. So it's this G. So between the bottom two black notes there. Then we come back to the treble clef. We're jumping around all the time. So that is 11 drafts bend down forward. So B, bend. And a B is just to the right of the three black notes. This is right in the middle of the treble clef. So it's this B that we have here. And then we go to the left hand, the bass clef, and this is again middle C. So this is the same note, whether it's written in the treble clef or in the bass clef, but now we're going to play it with our left hand. So there's middle C over there. And then even though we've got a whole lot of white space between this one and this is the note just above middle C, just below the first line. So that is a D. But now we're going to play it with our right hand. So even though they're right next to each other on the keyboard, there is some space here because this is linked to the bass clef and this is linked to the treble clef. If you think about music as we have it written for church, there's normally words written between these two lines of music, and that's why we have this bigger space, and it's really just to accommodate words that are written or other annotations that are written, if you're thinking about classical music. Otherwise we could just have one continuous line of music, but then it would be also much harder for the eye to be able to differentiate, whereas with it's only 5 lines, you can actually figure out quite quickly, is it the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth line? Just is it the top one, is it the bottom one, is it the middle one, how close is it? But as soon as you're getting to 6 or 7 lines, the eye wouldn't be able to read it as easily. So yeah, that's why there is this space, even though they're right next to each other on the keyboard. Okay, then we get to another space for the bass clef. So this is, remember, all cows eat grass, so that's a C. So we had middle C just to the left of the 2 black notes. This is an octave down though. There's middle C, we're coming down an octave. So just to the left of the 2 black notes, there's our C down there. And then we go back to the treble clef. So 11 drafts bend down forwards, that's a D. And a D is just between the 2 black notes, there's our D, but this one isn't right by middle C. That was right by middle C. This is an octave up. So it's going to be this D up at the top there. Then we have Gumboots Dancing for Africa. So that's an A, and an A is between the top 2 of the group of 3 black notes. There's our A. And then the final one in this exercise, 11 drafts bend down forward, so 11E. And an E is just to the right of the 2 black notes. And it's this one that's quite close to middle C. It's down at the bottom of the stave. So that is going to be this E just right above it. So hopefully you did that for yourself as well, and hopefully you got it right. If not, think about why you didn't get it right. Maybe you did it in pencil, erase what you did, redo it, use the flashcards to practice as well. And as you look at the flashcard, play it on the piano as well, so you're making those associations in your brain. Okay, then one final exercise before we get into some exercises that you should be doing every day. So this is again some theory. So it says on the staves below, on the staffs below, draw the missing notes as shown in the first 2 measures. Then write the note names below each note and play the notes while saying their names as well. Okay, so we have here for the first one, we're in the treble clef. So we had 11 giraffes, that's a G, and a step up, so from a G to an A. And then we had 11 drafts bend down, that's a D, and a skip down. So we're going to skip the C and we're going to go down to a B. Right, so now let's do all of the rest. So again, pause this video, do it for yourself, and then come back and compare your answers to what I'll do with you. Okay, so now that you've had a chance to do that for yourself, let's have a look at how it should be. So let's start firstly by just drawing the note as that it is correct based on if it's a step down or skip down, skip up, step up, etc. So we're saying here we're going to go from this space, it says a step down, so we're going to go to 1 line down. That was a space note, so we're going to just go to the next line down. Now let's see what those note names are. So this is the treble clef. So the spaces are F, A, C, E, so that's a C. And so what would be 1 step down from that? C goes down to a B, but it's also 11 drafts bend down forward. So there's a B. Okay, then let's look at the next one. So here we have a space and it says to do a skip up. So instead of going to the line, we're going to go to the next space. So space to a space. And then let's see what are the names of those notes. So these are spaces again in the treble clef. So F, A, C, E. So there's an F, and then this is the next space. So that's an A. Okay, then we have a note on a line and it says do a step up. So we're going to go to the next note up from a line to a space. And what is the note name? So 11 drafts bend down forward, so that's a B. And then stepping up from B would go to C, but it's also F-A-C-E, face. So that's a C. Then we have a line note, and we're saying do a skip down. So from that line, we're going to do to the next line. We're going to skip the space, and we're going to go down to the line below that. And so what are the names of these? So 11 giraffes, bend down forwards. So 11 giraffes, that's a G, and this was an E. And you also say G, F, E, if you're wanting to just kind of count it out for yourself logically. Then it says here, let's do a skip up. So from this line, we're going to skip the space. We're going to go up to the line above there. And what are these names? So 11 drafts bend down. So that's a D. We're going to skip the E and go to F. And it's also 11 drafts bend down forward. And then we're going to do a step down from this space. If you're going to a step down, it'll be to the line just below that. And these are the spaces. So it's F-A-C-E for face, F-A, so that's an A. And what's just below an A, it'll be a G. And also 11 giraffes, bend down forwards. So hopefully as we're just doing this repetitively, you're starting to be able to identify which notes are which without too much effort. Okay, now we go to the bass clef. So we have a space, so it says do a step down. So from that space, we'll go to the line just below that. And what are the note names now? So for the spaces in the bass clef, it's all cows eat grass. So that's all cows. That's a C. And one note below C would be a B. Or you can say gum boots dancing for Africa. So that's a B. And then we're going to do a skip down from here. There's a space. We're going to skip the line and we're going to go to the space below that. So it was all cows eat grass. So that's a G. And all cows eat. That's an E. And here we're going to do a skip down. This is from a line. So we go to the next line below that. We're going to skip the space. And this is gumboots dancing for. That's an F. And it's gumboots dancing. That's a D. So from the F, skip the E, go down to a D. Here we then have the top line, and it says do a step down. So from the line to the space just below it. And it was gumboots dancing for Africa. So there's an A. And what's just below that, it's a G. Or you could say all cows eat grass. And then we're going to do from this line, we're going to skip up. So go from that line to the next line up, and it's gumboots dancing. Okay, so gumboots dancing for Africa. And here we're going to do a step up. From this line, a step, we go to the next space just above it. And it was sort of gumboots dancing for Africa. That's a G. And the note one space up will be an A. All cows eat grass. Okay, and then we're going to do this last two. So we've got a space. We're going to do a skip down. So from a space to a space. And it's all cows eat. So that's an E. And what's two notes below that is a C. So all cows eat grass. And an E, D, C. And then the final one, we're going to do a step up. So from this space, we're going to go to a line just above it. And it's all cows eat grass. And then it goes to gumboots dancing. And it's A, B, because that's the line right above it. Okay, so hopefully with these exercises, you're now feeling nice and comfortable. Okay, now that you've gone through all of that, we call that music theory as you're doing it. Now you want to start playing these. And so it's got a number of exercises for you to do. And so here we have a piece of music. You'll see this is actually 3 lines long before you get to the double bar line. So this is the longest piece of music you've done so far. And it says the following exercise will strengthen your fingers and help you to play evenly and smoothly. So this first page is for your left hand, and then you go to the next page and you've got exercises for your right hand as well. So you want to do this, it's going to help you to be practicing to read the notes. It's going to help you to practice with your fingering, and it's going to strengthen your fingers as well. So practice these every day, your left hand and your right hand. And go back to the exercises that we've done earlier in the book as well and be practicing those regularly. And then later in this video, we'll get to playing some hymns as well. So start your practice every day, practicing these exercises, and then you practice each hymn a couple of times as well. And as you do that, you'll be able to get better and better, grow in confidence, and you will be able to be playing some of these hymns for sacrament meeting or for a baptism or for a class or whatever. You can be asking for opportunities to be playing, and I'm sure that everybody in your ward or branch will be very happy to support you as you're wanting to become part of the group of people who can play. So let's get into actually playing this then. Okay, so this first one is starting with the left hand, and it's starting right at the bottom of the keyboard. So this is Gum Boots Dancing for Africa. It's G, and remember G is between with your 3 black notes. It's between the bottom 2, but this is right at the bottom of the bass clef, so it's going to be this G down here. It says to start with finger 5, and we're going to do step up, step down, step up, step down, and this counts 1 1 1 1 1 1, and this counts 2 beats. So those are quarter notes or crotchets, and then a half note or a minim, and then we're going to. This is finger 5 and 4, and then we're going to switch to finger 4 and 3. We're going to do the next 2 notes, and then you're going to do finger 3 and 2, and then you're going to do finger 2 and 1. So you're going to use the fingers right next to each other, strengthening those, and then you're going to come back down, and then right at the end we do a different pattern, and then we have a note that counts for 4 at the end. So I'm going to play it for you, and what you want to then be doing is practicing these. You can practice along with the video so that you can try and be getting it nice and smooth, but practice it on your own a few times until you feel like you're ready to play along with the video. I won't play it fast, but you want to get used to playing it at this regular speed as I'm playing it. So what I'll do is I'll do one that will be quite slow, and then I'll do one that's faster. So what you want to do is increase your speed gradually. So you start playing very slowly until you got it nice and smoothly, and then you gradually make it a little bit faster until you can do it at a nice walking pace speed. It doesn't have to be super fast, but you want to get it to a decent speed. Okay, so let's do it nice and slowly, and then I'll repeat it doing it faster. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Okay, so that was quite a slow version of it. And make sure that you can play that nice and smoothly before you try increasing your speed. But then try and increase your speed little bit by little bit until you can play it much faster, like I'm going to do it now. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Okay, you can go even faster than that. If you're feeling nice and confident, you can try and do it, but make sure that you're keeping that steady rhythm before you're trying to go faster. So you don't want to play it too fast and then you lose your rhythm. You want to make sure that you're still playing it correctly, even if you're increasing the speed. Okay, now the next page then has the same exercises, but for the right hand. And we're again going to start on a G. So 11 giraffes, bend down forwards. I'm going to start with finger 1. And it's exactly the same music, but because we're playing with the right hand, if you're starting with the lowest notes, it would be finger 5 for the left hand, finger 1 for the right hand. But it's going to be exactly the same thing. So we're going to practice that. I'll do it again slowly, and then I'll do it faster so you can try and build up your speed to get to that faster speed. So let's start with it nice and slow. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so once you've been able to master that at that slow speed, then start gradually increasing your speed until you can do it faster like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so as you do that, your fingers should get much stronger. The more you use the muscles in your fingers, the stronger they will get. And especially finger number 5 on both your hands, you probably don't use that very much in your daily lives. But if particularly finger 5 in your right hand is often going to be playing the melody. And so it needs to be nice and strong so that it can carry that. So the more you do these exercises to build up the muscles, the better you'll be able to do.